Joe, the Pac-12 is back.
Sure.
I guess. The Pac-12 announced that they are going through Yahoo Sports and Ross Dellinger that they're going to be getting new TV right deals. Joe, it says, as Ross says, as 4 different TV partners are engaged in talks with the new Pac-12 and at this time. They will be releasing that at a later date on what that's going to be. But Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, Gonzaga, which, I mean, this Gonzaga doesn't have football, but I guess it's good for basketball. Oregon State, San Diego State, Utah, and Washington State will all be a part of the new Pac-12. In Ross's article, he does say that the TV revenue money from the 4 partners is going to make the Pac-12 seek other opportunities for expansion.
So the funniest thing, like with this headline, and this news is old in a way. The new part of this, the new layer, is that they're close to nearing a TV deal. It's supposed to be 4 different TV partners that they could be working with. That was what the big problem was originally. That was what the kill shot was. There was no damn TV deal, and the goofball commissioner, whose name I am forgetting, nor do I care to remember, he was the one who killed the conference because they couldn't figure out the damn TV rights. So them having a TV partner, you know, as we look back at this incident, and we detailed it was one of the first things we talked about on the show, it does kind of help you breathe a sigh of relief if you're a fan of one of these teams. I do think that the Pac-12 can be competitive with these teams. The thing that catches my attention, though, is that last part that you brought in there is who are they going to go after? Because they need an 8th football team. We can't be rolling with 7. We just can't. 7 football teams is a wonky number. I mean, they should be trying to get 10 football teams if they can. Memphis is one of the ones that was brought up. I remember back when I was the producer for the College Football Inquirer, which was the show that Ross hosted on, I believe he brought up USF was one of the teams. South Florida.
That makes no sense.
Exactly. The one that does make sense, I would go dig into as many of the schools in Texas as possible, because that's not that far to travel. Texas State, to me, I think is the one that makes the most sense. I think they're very underrated athletic program. GJ Kinney has them rolling, and he's making $2 million a year. Imagine how much money that they could have to spend if they were in the best G5 conference, which is what the Pac-12 is becoming. So Texas State's like the big one for me that catches my attention.
George Klavikov was the guy's name.
Klavikov, yeah, that guy sucked.
Yeah, he was really bad. I don't disagree with Texas State. I know that there's been some scuttlebutt out there, though, about UNLV possibly not doing it.
That would make a lot of sense.
Joe, with the amount of money that's being poured into Vegas right now, and I understand Dan Mullen said about the money situation that they won't have it in 10 years unless people start funding it. Joe, they're spending a shitload of money to get sports up. I mean, like, and it's Vegas.
Right.
Which, Joe, I just got to be honest with you. The people of Vegas, they're spending money in that. The Fertitta brothers from the UFC have gotten their hands involved in it. Dana White did things with UNLV, got his hands involved in it. I mean, like, UNLV would be the no-brainer for me, if I'm being honest, to go and grab.
I kind of wonder how hard UNLV 100%. I kind of wonder how hard it becomes stealing more of the Mountain West teams, because I believe that there's some sort of litigation or just situation that's now happening because the Pac-12 literally stole half of the Mountain West. I think that they should. I
got a team. I got a second one.
Okay,
Tulane. Those schools that Louisiana. If you're going to do a Texas school, you can do Tulane.
Well, I mean, I guess it's a fair point because, like, the New Orleans Pelicans are in the West for the NBA for God knows what reason.
It's New Orleans. Don't say New Orleans. They'll kill you.
Sorry, New Orleans.
They're
still a Louisiana team is in the West for the NBA. Right. Too, I would go to Tulane's a great brand.
Yeah. If you're going to South Florida, then what are you doing?
My geography is terrible. I couldn't tell you how close Louisiana is.
South Florida, I mean,
Well, I know. Okay, I know Louisiana is closer than South Florida. I know that much, but I just like it is too. I just don't want to do this bit anyone that's like technically on the East Coast.
Oh, I don't either. Well, let me ask you this question. Some of those teams that are in the ACC, do you try to bring them back? Some former Pac-12 teams?
I would call
Stanford
and Cal and see. You know what actually I would do that doesn't get talked about enough? And I don't I cover the FCS and I've gotten to know a lot of FCS fan bases in
North Dakota State.
Well, I would go North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Montana State. All four of those programs have passionate fan bases. They will pack out every single stadium. It is reasonable traveling distance. I believe all of those have airports within close striking distance too, so it's not hard to get to. And quietly, some of those programs have a lot of money. Montana State has some revolutionary, and I forget exactly what it is, but they're pumping money into their program way more than most FCS teams do. They probably could outspend Colorado State if they wanted to. That is what I would do. Instead of looking around at all these shit, mediocre G5 teams, who you want to poach, grab the teams that are right there that are consistently good.
And regional.
And fun. Have you watched the offense that North Dakota State runs? It's got some wing T into it. It's freaking awesome, man. They run down people's throats.
Who's the running back that left and went to Miami?
Chamar Brown, who left to Miami. Yep.
Yeah, I remember watching him when we talked about him, and they were going power eye, and all the fullback didn't have no teeth, and then he was redheaded. And I felt
Cody Mock was the toothless offensive lineman who came from.
Oh, okay.
Hunter Lupke, who's the fullback who came from North Dakota State. That's on the Cowboys. They will produce a fullback. They will produce a real fullback.
And listen, they almost went into Colorado and beat Primetime in them.
Exactly. So I don't know, man. If I don't know who the Pac-12 commissioner is, I would be nonstop on the phone. I would get Texas State, and then I would just keep calling all four of those teams that I mentioned.
Yeah, Larry Scott's the new Pac-12 commissioner. I knew that. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Look, here's the thing. You got 7 football programs. Because Gonzaga's not a football program. They're not going to play football. At least.
Well, you can ask them.
Well, I guess we'll see. I do think that this – look, here's the good news. The good news is I'm glad that the Pac-12 is just not dead. I will tell you, though, I do feel like in some sports, like for an example, like Oregon State's in Omaha for baseball, and it's a big deal in Corvallis for baseball. Brother.
They historically have a good baseball program, right?
Oh, they're going to beat the dog shit out of everybody in that conference. I mean, Joe, they were top 18.
I believe it.
They're going to beat the outright dog shit. But, I mean, look, man. It is what it is. I mean, but like Utah State hasn't been good and shit.
Yeah, that's kind of, you just needed a body. You kind of did.
Yeah.
Like San Diego State's been competitive, and Fresno State's been a good team, and Colorado State's okay. But yeah, Utah State's the first one I look at. I'm like, really?
It's just look. You got a big name football wise in Boise State, and Oregon State can do some things. But man, it's just I know the Pac-12 faithful are going to hate me for saying this, but Joe, there's not going to be any high-profile game outside of other teams in P4s that they're going to play that I'm going to probably watch outside of Boise State starts making a run again. Because I mean, there's so much that we have to keep up with. And look, I'm not too proud to say this. I mean, if there's 6 primetime games like we're going to have in week 1 with other games going on around the country, I mean, Joe, we literally, if you break this down, we'll probably talk about 10 to 20 games in week 1 just to keep our eyes on. So you're going to have to do good. And Joe, guess what? If they do good, then they'll get more money from these TV contracts. That's the big deal here.
Right. And that's getting more money from the TV contracts, producing primetime games that are worth watching should be the directive. And that's why I'm going to keep coming back to it. The marker game, North Dakota State versus South Dakota State, Montana versus Montana State. Those are games that people would watch. I don't know if they would draw the big crowd of attention away from people watching SEC or Big Ten games, but those are games that people that like football and want something unique to watch that's on late at night or in a different time slot, it could draw attention. It absolutely could.
Late night Pac-12, baby.
Hell yeah. Bring it back.
Pac-12 After Dark is back.
Bring it back.
You know what they should do?
What?
They should put a game on Cinemax and call it After Dark. You're too young to probably understand what that means.
Don't get that at all.
You know, back in the gap, you had to stay up until 2 a.m. to get a thing on Cinemax. You know, when I was growing up, that's what, you have a slumber party and all the boys, you want to stay up to 2 a.m. and see some titties?
I couldn't tell you what any of that is. I don't know.
You old heads in the comment, tell me I'm not lying. 1,000% what happened. All right. We'll see y'all soon. Well, no, we won't.